in Abilene. And here he is, Mr. Reid Davis. Hello, Reid.
Hey Tony, what's up?
I'm just glad you're going to let me interview you about your job, a very important job that some people take it for granted, but they just don't know how important your job was when you work for the city. And take it from there, Reid. What did you do for the city, and when did you start? How long did you work there?
Well, I started probably 1998 through 2001. So I worked there a few years with the commercial department of the City of Abilene Refuge.
Uh-huh.
And our day started out like you'd start like at 4 in the morning.
Woo, golly.
I like to start real early because I wasn't that fast as some of the younger guys. So I'd start early, get a jump on the route. First you get there, you warm up your truck, make sure everything, all the bells and whistles are running. And of course, when I started, I had one of the older trucks, so a lot of times I was broke down half the time. But anyway, you'd start on your route, and there was like 7 routes in the city, and each guy had a route. Some were bigger, some were smaller, some were more complicated, drove a lot more miles. So you take on your route, you fill up. You fill up probably. If you were lucky, you'd get 9 tons on it. 9 tons would be a good day. But my old truck when I started, I'd only get 5 to 6. So, and then you start seeing the Packer, the Ram fill up, and when the Ram fills up, you look behind you, start seeing your trash start piling. Your truck's just about full.
Yes.
So then you close the top and head to the landfill, and you might get behind 5, 10 other trucks from other solid waste services from that work the surrounding towns.
Yes.
And go out there and you go to your designated spot, kind of where they'd have their where they're going to dump the trash that day, and you line up, empty it out, and make sure you put your gloves on, your thick leather gloves, because there's no telling what you find out. If you got stuff that comes behind the Ram,
Yes.
you have to get back there and clean it out.
Mm-hmm.
So you clean it out and head back in and start your second round.
Yes.
So that may your second round may be the easiest part of your round. Usually you got to try to get your hardest stuff done first, so it got easier as the day went on.
Yes.
Make sure you're, as soon as you got into your route, you got to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And usually about once a week, you try to go over to where they kept the metal, where they repair the metal trash cans.
Yes.
The commercial cans, and you can wash your truck out there. So you wash the truck because your supervisor always liked to clean truck.
Yes.
But after I did that for a few months, then I got moved to the roll-offs, and the roll-offs was really my favorite part of the job. That's where you take the, like you see a construction container, maybe 20, 30, 40 yards.
Yes.
And you tilt the truck back, and you load the container, and then take it off and go deliver it. And then I was in line for a new truck, and I got a brand new Mac.
Okay.
So that was a fun job right there.
Yes. Now, you also sometimes you told me that you might run across people, homeless people or whatever, people doing things in alleys and behind businesses. Sometimes you have to watch yourself, make sure that nobody was
in the trash can.
Yeah, or in the trash can.
In the trash can.
Oh yeah.
So there's chances. I didn't have any, but there was chances that you could watch for homeless people could be in the trash can. So a lot of times on them rural trash cans and them, not rural trash cans, but a lot of times on them ones in them alleys, you might come across somebody. There might be somebody in that trash can
sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, or digging through it or something.
But a lot of times you expected to hear somebody start hollering.
Yeah, because they'd hear you
Yeah.
drive up in them,
Yeah,
them forts.
bump the cans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those. I mean, I got propositioned, behind McDonald's on the North First here in Abilene. I got propositioned there, and there's no telling what you come across at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right, right.
Some of the guys that tell me about the residential guys would tell you that, some of them sometimes you might be driving down the alley and there'd be a naked woman standing in the window. So you never know.
Yeah.
You never knew what she was going to come across.
Right, right. Now, tell me about the landfill again, how they dumped the trash and then they packed it into the earth. Tell me what the procedure was on that.
Well, that they'd back you in. They would tell you, I want you to get this spot over here, and you'd back up and you dump your trash, and they had a big caterpillar with steel rollers and giant spikes things on the rollers, and it would just pulverize the trash. Would they go back and forth, then they'd have another payloader come in with dirt and pack over that dirt, and he'd run over it. So they'd do like trash and do a layer of dirt and trash and layer of dirt until they got so far, and then they'd tell you, then they'd move to a different section.
Now, when they first dug the hole, because I got a chance to see a hole once, how deep do you think that hole would be when they very first started before they even put any trash in it?
Oh, I bet you it's probably, as big as that hill is now, I bet you it's probably a couple of 100 feet.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the level point to the point where they dug it down and stopped.
Yeah.
A couple of 100 feet.
Yeah, from the top of the hill to the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And they said that landfill will last probably close to 100 years before it will be full.
That's great to know, because that's something that we got to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's amazing that the same landfill that I was a part of back in the early 2000s is the same landfill today. It's just, as you can watch it, it's just kind of gradually moved.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll move to a different section, and move to like this until they get this area done. Then they just fill up till it's a giant hill, and then they like plant grass over it, and it ends up looking
like a small hill.
Yeah. Nobody ever knows.
Mm-hmm. Unless you work there or something.
Yeah.
But people that